And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get things started with a 10-round bout. This is in the flyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the dark blue trunks and weighing in at 112 pounds. His professional record, 22 victories with 11 KOs against 8 defeats with 3 draws. He comes all the way from Seoul, Korea. Ladies and gentlemen, Bong Kim. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the blue trunks and weighing in also at 112 pounds. His professional record, an excellent one, 37 victories with 14 KOs, 4 defeats with 4 draws. He comes to us from Campeche, Mexico. Ladies and gentlemen, Mельчор Castro.
Tony Gibson, the referee, calling the 2 men to the center of the ring. They're taking their sweet time about getting there.
They put his mouthpiece in.
Now they got to get the mouthpiece put in for Kim. Incidentally, sitting between Al and yours truly is a very beautiful lady here from
before the
Caesar's
fight in your
Palace.
respective dressing room. I want you to keep the fight clean. Gracias, kamsahamnida.
Her name is Jennifer Kim, and she will translate for us as we, from time to time throughout the fight, stick our cameras and microphones into the corner of the Korean fighter, Bong Kim. So we're set to go. This one for 10 rounds in the flyweight division. These 2 men each have in the past been champions and would love to assume that role again.
There are so many boxers in that weight division, Tom, that the public is not that familiar with, who are excellent boxers like these 2 guys.
For Castro, this is his second fight this year. He's in the all blue, comes out and swings into the southpaw style. Kim in the trunks that are kind of multicolored. I think it's a given, Al Bernstein, that like their Mexican counterparts, Korean fighters are always in shape, always come ready to fight.
Very much, that is very true, and they're also very often very aggressive fighters. Another comparison that's made to a lot of Mexican fighters. Melchor Castro, though he is a lefty, is often easier to figure out than some lefties. He'll square himself up a little bit more to you and give you a little more opportunity if you're a right-hander to land punches than some lefties do.
He's 25 and he turned professional at the age of 16 back in 1985. He's won 31 of his last 34. But his victories, in point of fact, have not been all that impressive. And many people feel that if he is going to get a chance at a title, he is going to have to impress some people by being an aggressive type fighter tonight instead of a laid-back, counter-punching, defense-minded opponent.
Warning by Toby Gibson to Kim for holding. That's been the rap against Melchor Castro, and you're right, Tom. He's going to have to take the fight to Kim a little bit more tonight, I think.
Castro comes into the ring tonight. He was not scheduled to be on the card. He and Kim are toe-to-toe into the corner, and the crowd loves every second of it.
That's the Melchor Castro that I think people would like to see. He's got some power. He's not a huge puncher, but when he's in those exchanges, of course, it's exciting, but I don't know if it's in his best interest to do that.
What do you think about being a late arrival to the bill of fare? Kim, of course, was scheduled to fight along with the Kim, no relation, who's going to be in the title go against Carbajal, so he's been in serious training for it. Yeah, of course, I guess Castro is in shape and ready to fight.
Yeah, he looks like he's in pretty good shape. It's always tough when you take a fight on short notice, but for Kim, the additional problem of having to face a lefty now loomed for him also.
There's another caution by Toby Gibson to Kim about holding and hitting. You can see that round 1 has got less than half a minute remaining.
Kim is a good left hook, and you can see he's trying to use that punch very effectively, and it works usually against the lefty.
Well, he's thrown that straight right hand right up the middle a couple of times, too, and landed flush in the middle of Castro's face.
And that's because Castro does square up more than most lefties do. As I mentioned earlier, he doesn't give you the angles like a lot of lefties.
There's the bell, and that's the end of round number 1. It is scheduled.
The front of his face.
In other words,
would be a good idea.
You should have seen the beautiful Jennifer her say, put this in front of his face, and she put her 2 hands and may have folded them into fists and set them up in front of her face.
That would work if you're a trainer in front of a fight.
That's right. We'll tell the boys in the truck, Jennifer, to crank the sound up on that microphone next time we put the camera over there so that we can hear it a little bit better. This is round 2, scheduled for 10. Flyweight division. Castro in blue and Kim in the black and gold speckled trunks.
And that was good advice in his corner to keep your hands up. That's because he is getting nailed as he's coming in by Castro. Castro's counterpunching pretty well. But Kim has, one thing Kim has done, Tom, is create a pace for this fight, unlike what Castro normally likes, which is a slower, kind of a more deliberate pace. You've seen him fight a lot more than I have, and that seems to be the pace he likes.
Incidentally, the man who was giving the instructions to Bong Kim, there's an uppercut landed by Castro and a pretty good left hand kind of thrown in as he was stepping back. Oh, solid left, right, nice combinations by Castro. Nailed Kim with some very, very effective shots right to the jaw.
And he has him backing up, which is not Kim's best posture.
Well, Castro has been told, be aggressive. Kim has been told to be a bit more patient. Castro lands a right and a left, and Kim holds on, and Gibson will come between them. The man who was talking to Kim in the corner is Min Cho, who's a former Korean 147-pound champion, a welterweight champion, and a very popular fighter in Korea. There's Kim again with that hand behind the head, though Gibson didn't. Oh, good right hand.
Cobb Castro, who is not known as an inside fighter, though, can work on the inside, and we're seeing evidence of that tonight. He's doing very well against Kim on the inside. Kim is still holding and hitting, and he's very close to getting a point taken away.
And again, Gibson with the reminder, don't do it.
Toby Gibson's been very patient so far here with him, not wanting to take points away from a fighter. He knows he's in a foreign country, doesn't want to, add to his woes.
Castro hit him with a pretty good left hand as he came in. And now Castro looks like he's got one arm all locked in there again, and now Gibson cautions both men against that toe-to-toe with the headbutt, a very distinct possibility.
A little more head movement from Kim as he comes in, and he'll need that because he's getting nailed with counterpunches like that.
Pretty good right hand, smacks him up the side of left side of his face. There's the bell. Gibson's between the two, and round 2 is into the books. We follow Castro back to his corner. Dacio Beristan and Rafael Mendoza, Ismael Jimenez, the people working in the corner of Cobb Castro. And Gibson comes over and says, keep him up, as he cautions Castro, while already having cautioned Kim about holding and hitting.
We take a look at where Castro hurt Kim with those good straight left hands.
About 5 shots unanswered as he drives him back, and every one seemed to land.
Kim keeping his head up very high, and now as we look at the second time in the round that Castro really got to him, using the uppercut as an effective weapon. And the interesting thing about this, I think, is that Castro is exchanging with him and getting away with it, Tom. From another angle, you can see how effective that inside work of Castro's is. Covering up well and then landing those combinations.
Out they come for round number 3. Cobb Castro in blue, he's the southpaw. And Bong Jun Kim, the other fighter in the ring.
I don't know the last time I've broadcast a fight. Well, that was a side headlock. That was interesting. I don't know the last time I've broadcast a fight in this weight. A point being taken away by Toby Gibson from Kim. And I thought he was very patient with him. I don't think that's an unfair move. as I was saying, the action keeps interrupting the points I want to make. Why does it do that? I don't know when I've broadcast a fight in this weight division that hasn't been exciting. I mean, they're always good in this weight division. It's excellent.
Pretty good right hand lead by Kim that hits Castro flush in the face. He drives Castro back, and the southpaw and the Korean exchanging some pretty good shots. Castro a little low with the left hand. Throws a right and a left. Kim steps in. Castro drives him back.
Unless Kim can find a way to deal with that straight left, he is going to have a very, very difficult time here tonight, staying in this fight. There you saw the head movement that made the left miss, but then when he ducked the second one, Castro just threw it lower and hit him.
There is a slight swelling on the left cheekbone, left side of the face of Kim.
Look at how open, Tom, Kim is when he comes in that way.
And Castro's making him pay for it.
Kim did get a good right hand in toward the end there, but that was just one shot.
These guys weigh 112 pounds. And they came to fight. No question about it.
Now, you know what? Let me make a point here. Now, Castro came into this bout with only a week's notice. While he's doing extremely well now, if in fact Kim can get this fight into the later rounds, Tom, he might do better then.
Yes, one would assume that having been announced for the fight and in training for it for several weeks now, that Bong Kim would be, condition-wise, a step ahead of Castro.
But Castro's such a clever veteran. Notice how he hooks the arm of Kim on the other side where Toby Gibson can't see him. So Gibson will never know Castro's holding on the inside.
Kim, on the other hand, has been levied a point for holding back of the head. And Castro's been, as you say, much more clever about it.
You know, Kim was saved getting hit with a big right hook. Castro was ready to hit him. He was wide open, but his hand got caught in the little ropes that holding the ropes together.
It's the third round. It's scheduled for 10. 1 of 4 we're sending your way tonight. Michael Carvajal will be along to defend his title. We'll see Rafael Ruelas go against Gerald Tyson. He's never been down, and Ruelas has lost only one fight. And he can hit. There's the bell. That's the end of round number 3. And we'll follow our Korean, Bong Kim, over to his corner. Stick a microphone in there and see if we can listen in.
지금 3회전인데 상대가 힘 4회전인데 상대 힘이 밖으로 빠져. 지금 힘 빼고 가볍게 부드럽게 하다가
Corners, accidental wants him to handle himself real light. He kept telling him to be very, very light, not just like before, not so aggressive. And he hasn't had a very much notice for the fight, the Castro. So he is more prepared than he is. So be slow for right now and be aggressive a little later.
Thank you, Jennifer. That's Jennifer Kim, who's not related to either of these two fighters. Jennifer told us with a smile that Kim is a very common name in Korea.
There's the side headlock by Kim. And why did I feel like it was going duck, duck, duck for a second there? I don't know. I just felt it.
Al, Jennifer's translation would seem to bear out what you had in mind when you offered the opinion. If Kim could take this fight another 4 or 5 rounds, his conditioning may weigh heavily for him.
See, his trainer doesn't want him doing this, Tom.
No.
They don't want him just going in and wading in. Make Castro work for 5 or 6 rounds. Hit him with some punches, get out, move around a little. Don't walk in with the possibility you're going to get knocked out. They think Castro will fade in the later rounds, and he might.
Well, he's not following instructions. One would expect that following the conversation between rounds, he'd stick out that jab and do a little boxing and move Castro around. But so far, he's content to stand there forehead to forehead, chest to chest with him.
It's really a matter of patience, I think, more than anything else. Kim is just impatient. And Castro never initiates the first punch, very seldom. So he's making Kim come in. You know what Cobb Castro's not doing now, Tom, and you've seen him before do this, not using his jab as much as he might. That would set up that straight left hand even better. And he's got a good jab, doesn't he?
Indeed, he does have. Bobbing and weaving, Kim trying to work his way inside. He's been in 9 straight title fights, Al, and he's won 6 of them. This fighter lost 3. His last 9 fights, I should say, have all been title affairs. Puts Castro against the rope. Bit sharper now with his punches, and Castro comes back with a flurry that drives Kim away.
See, Castro's throwing that left hand without using the jabs. If he would throw the jab first before he throws that left hand, it would be very effective.
Castro's in the blue. He's the southpaw. We're in round number 4, and it's been a busy affair since the opening bell. Castro and Kim spin each other around. You get the impression now that the Marcus at Queensberry, the rules might have been lost on these two, huh?
Yeah,
they are really wrestling each other all over the
This may be a clinic in fighting. You know, the heat in this building, it's a little bit hotter than it should be. It's very hot outside here in Las Vegas. And it's not uncomfortable here, but a little bit warmer than you would expect it to be in an air-conditioned building. That may have some impact on Castro and Kim as well as this fight goes on. Castro we're thinking of specifically, though, because of the late notice.
Kim has him against the ropes. Castro trying to fight his way back. Slips a punch. That's the bell. Castro, to me, Al, for a moment looked like he was breathing a little heavily there in that round. Had the mouth open and back in round 4.
There have been so many good flurries here. This is an example. And the inside fighting of Castro has been very, very good. And he's not known as a great inside fighter. More often does his good work from long range. But Kim had his moments as well. Had Castro against the ropes. And there's that straight right hand, which you pointed out, Tom, has been a good weapon for him.
Castro slipped a pretty good punch in that sequence. Stepped to the side, landed one on Kim. They're both up and ready to go here for round number 5. We're at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas, Nevada, in the pavilion. Kim puts Castro against the ropes. Well, not to belabor the idea. Good, nice right-left combination by Castro. And Kim lands some solid shots.
And what's the sign of a fighter that's tired? A guy that lays on the ropes, huh?
Sitting back against him, and now Castro's sitting on the second strand from the bottom, and Kim is like perpetual motion. Castro ties him up.
Well, over the beginning of this bout, Kim has been battered. He's had a point taken away from him. But you get the feeling that this fight not at all out of his reach, because Castro, when he does lay against the ropes, allows Kim to get to him.
Castro has knocked out 14 opponents in a record that shows him with 37 victories. Out of 22 wins, why Kim has scored 10 knockouts. He's 29 and Castro is 25. It's interesting that the point taken away, if Castro won the round, and I suspect that round he did, it was a 10-8 round, wasn't it, Al?
Yeah, and it may play a role if this fight gets closer, but I do think Toby Gibson was definitely justified in doing it. Wow.
Solid right hand landed by Castro. You could hear it smack all over the building. Kim tied him up again, and Castro spun him around.
A lot of swelling around the left face, left area of the face of Kim. And now the right hook. Earlier it was the straight left by Castro. Now it's the right hook that's getting in on a regular basis.
Castro is not without his the marks in his face. A lot of puffiness under the eyes. The cheekbones are pretty well swollen.
Getting a holding and hitting.
Right. He's not going to warn him again. Of course, Gibson doesn't speak Korean. I'm sure that Kim knows what he's talking about.
Well, Toby made it clear through his hand gestures. And I think that Toby Gibson is trying to be very, very fair to him. So it doesn't look like they're... Now there, Castro held on the wrong side. That time it was in front of Toby Gibson, and Gibson was able to see it. I'll tell you, this is an action fight. this is the kind of bout, as I said, you get used to seeing in this weight division. Lots of punches thrown, lots of punches landed, and we're only in round 5.
That's right, but it's coming to a close. Solid left hand by Castro, and another left-right combination that Kim slipped for the most part. There's the bell, and that's...
But he didn't get as much leverage, Castro did, on that punch as he would have liked.
This round number 6, scheduled for 10. Castro in the blue, Kim from Korea. Oh, right hand by Castro spun Kim around. Boy, he's got a pretty good set of whiskers, Al.
Beautiful, yes, he does, and a good straight left hand. Castro is now starting to use the jab as more of a rangefinder, Tom, and I think that is really going to help him here in this bout.
He's got Kim bending over, very pronounced, as they come together inside. And a good deal of pushing and shoving going on.
Kim has gone 12 rounds in his last 4 fights, 3 of which, of course, he lost, losing his championship and then 2 attempts at the World Championships after that.
Blood coming from his nose. Castro unmarked except for the swelling under both eyes, but it is not that pronounced and not affecting his vision.
And you can tell that Kim is a guy that is a gritty, tough competitor whose stamina is excellent. Just isn't going to go anywhere. You're going to have to beat him with a shovel to get him out of there. But he's losing virtually every one of these rounds. And so if Castro doesn't get knocked out, he's going to have a hard time winning this decision from Castro.
It's his first fight in the United States, Al.
Oh, tremendous uppercut by Castro.
Kim is bleeding from the nose and mouth.
Well, there's one other characteristic that so many of the Korean fighters seem to have, and that's toughness, and we are seeing evidence of that tonight in Kim.
Castro hit him a solid shot with the right hand. Toby Gibson, the third man in the ring. Kim is tireless in his efforts, though. He just keeps coming.
The fact that Kim has not fought at this weight before, Tom, I think, you know, maybe that's having some impact on him, too, because he's getting hit with punches that might be just a little harder. Even though Castro's not a huge banger in his division.
Round 6 coming to a close here at Caesar's Palace. Neither man has been down. Here's the bell. That's the end of All right, the bell brings him out for round number 7. We're at Caesar's Palace, the Pavilion. The fun and sun capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Happy you came back into town, and it's great to work with you again. Me and you and Ruben, Frank Bellman, our producer, all the guys. It's a fun crew.
Toe-to-toe. Castro working to the body all of a sudden. Kim got spun around and was headed for Al Bernstein's lap. Caught himself in time.
Well, you know, Castro is really fighting a very good fight, especially considering the short notice. He's in against a very aggressive opponent, and I think he's doing a pretty good job here.
Kim has him on the ropes, but Castro seems to be biding his time, fending off most of those shots.
Kim is so much of an arm puncher. That I really think, don't you think, Tom, if Kim's technique was a little better, he'd be a very dangerous fighter. And the 11 KOs in his 23 wins is an indication of the fact that that's not a huge knockout ratio.
No.
And I think that part of the reason is because he does not get leverage on his punches.
Landed a pretty good right hand, flush on Castro's jaw, but it didn't seem to faze Cobb Castro much. It has been a spirited encounter here since the opening bell. These two have been very busy.
Boy, I mean, Castro doing some very good work on the inside. But then Kim is doing better work in this round. This might be one of Kim's better rounds of the fights, if not his best round.
Castro holding on with that right hand, locking the left of Kim.
This might be the first round in the fight that Kim has a chance to win. Boy, how many guys have you ever heard of who lost their championship and have had 3 straight shots at a world championship, again losing 2 and getting a third chance? Well, not a third here, but I mean, could well get a chance.
Yes.
Because this is the kind of match that could be a stepping stone to a title match. And he is in against a top contender.
This seems to be a very slow round for him, Al. I wonder if he's trying to coast, throw it in neutral and just get by, maybe catch his wind. We're in round number 7.
That's a good point, Tom. He may have been trying to just kind of play through this round.
And now with 10 seconds left, looked for a moment like he wanted to steal the whole round away. But the bell stopped all of the activity.
We'll get the winner of that one. And I'm going to win that one also. Good luck to you, Tom. Thank you.
All right, Ruben. Rafael Ruelas, who has taken the obvious point of view. Hey, I took this fight. I can't be thinking about something down the road. Go out there and take care of business.
Not at all. And I'll tell you what, he is a very formidable opponent for either Paez or Pendleton, whoever should win. And you know what? I was amazed looking at today. He is still only 22 years old. He's been around for a long time.
Just a youngster, and yet he's 30. He's had 1 loss in his career and has had a total of 36 victories and 29 knockouts.
Now, there is a subtle change in this bout. Kim has been more effective in the last round or two. He's still taking shots at Castro, but able to get more in as well. And also, Tom, forcing Castro to hold on a little bit more.
No question that Kim is much more effective in the opening minutes of this, the 8th round. It's scheduled for 10.
It's amazing. Kim was a world champion. He has contended constantly for the championship. And he's done it, truthfully, with a big lack of technique in the way he throws punches. And if he was a better ring technician, he would be a lot better fighter. I don't think he was hurt by it. Oh, that one he was hurt by.
That left hand nailed him.
Wow.
I share your opinion. I don't know if that first punch really hurt him. Certainly knocked him off balance and gave Castro an opportunity to jump in and hit him. But now Kim is fighting his way back.
And how about the fact that the second one, which did look like it hurt him, didn't even make Kim stop in his tracks? This is an outstanding match. The exchanges have been excellent.
Good left hand by Castro.
Both men obviously in good condition, even with the 1 week's notice that Castro got, because you've had so many punches thrown in this fight. And even with all those punches, still, both men are fairly fresh.
Right hand lead by Kim. He drives Castro back, and then Castro picks him off with a couple of pretty good shots at long range. Toby Gibson, the referee. It's the 8th round. It's scheduled for 10. Neither man's been down. Rafael Ruelas and Daryl Tyson will be the next bit of business on our bill of fare. Of course, we have 2 more rounds to go here as we've got seconds remaining in this, the 8th. There's the bell. I don't know, but it could be that Kim has won the last 2 rounds despite 2 pretty good shots by Castro.
Very close rounds.
Tyson and Ruelas coming up next, and our Ruben Castillo is with Daryl Tyson. Ruben, if you will.
Thank you, Tommy. Daryl, this has got to be one of the toughest fights and the most important fights of your career. Should you beat Ruelas, maybe perhaps you think you'll get a shot at the title?
Well, I deserve a shot at the title if I beat Ruelas. You know, I know it's going to be a very important fight to me. And I know Ruelas came to fight as well as I have. So, I mean, he's not one of the toughest opponents that I have fought, but he is rated #1, so we're going to get in there and do what we have to do tonight.
Thank you. Good luck to you, Tom.
Thank you.
All right, Daryl Tyson, who's been in with some big names in this division. Here's a look back. There's the shot that sent Kim against the ropes.
And there's the second one that was a much better shot.
I thought it was too.
And the amazing thing is after that, Kim just kept coming. I mean, here you will see Castro hit him with a beautiful straight left. And after this sequence, Kim just put on the pressure.
Interesting round, the 8th. Here they are for round number 9. Castro's been cautioned. Castro was holding on again, and Kobe Gibson slapped at his arm. Neither man has been down in this fight. A point was taken away from Kim in the early rounds for repeatedly holding and hitting. Big mouse under the right eye of Cobb Castro now, and it looks as though the eye's cut, Al.
Yeah,
I think Castro's cut around the right eye.
And so he's lucky to own it. I'll tell you what, Tom, it's right on the eyelid, not in a great spot. So with not too long left to go in this fight, still, it could be a factor.
Now they're going to have the doctors come in to take a look at the eye, and time has stopped here. The doctors here are Flip Pomansky, Dr. Wishgame, and Al Campana.
Now the question is, did that come from a clash of heads or from a punch?
Well, there's been no indication that by anybody that somebody had been a headbutt resulted in that cut.
Now, if I was Melchor Cobb Castro, I would turn this into the invitational track meet and get the hell out of there.
Well, instead, he's standing there just wailing away. I think he wants to put Kim out of there.
Tom, this is a huge ring. One of the biggest rings I've seen in a long time. And I would just use all of it if I was Castro. And he's got the legs to do it. Whether he's still got it, I don't know.
Castro is standing toe-to-toe as if to say, this guy, they may stop this thing. I'm going to put this guy away before they have a chance to really take a look at this cut around my eye.
But his problem is he hasn't been able to do it over 8.5 rounds. Why does he think he can do it now? And he's in the worst possible position now on the rope.
Of course, that bloody eye is like a bullseye, an inviting target. Kim can sense that Castro's in some kind of trouble, worried about the eye, and his energy level goes up accordingly. This is the 9th round, and we've got just a half minute remaining.
And they will get a minute to work on that cut in between rounds, and that will be one of the most important minutes of Castro's career.
Castro pulls Kim into the ropes. 10 seconds remain in the round. Round 9 coming to a close. There's the bell, and that's the end of that one. And Castro goes back to his corner. Doesn't seem to be bleeding as badly as it was a few moments ago, Al. We'll see how they get around to stopping the flow.
Si te vuelves a quedar en las cuerdas, te van a parar la pelea. ¿Oíste? ¿Te estás escuchando o no? Te quedas otro rato, Ricardo.
Now, there's no pressure was put on that cut. Nothing was really done to stop the bleeding. Nothing. There was no genuine effort made to work on that cut.
Oíste, ya no tienes 3 minutos, no creo que en 3 minutos vais a perder algo que has labrado durante 10 rounds. Escúchenlo.
Here is where Castro, after he got cut, really looked to go after Kim. And with mixed results.
A lot of punches thrown and few landed. Here we go for round 10.
I'm astonished. There was no pressure put on the cut. You're supposed to keep pressure on it. There really was not a big effort made to stop the bleeding. We'll see if it bleeds again.
Al Bernstein, how did you get this one scored?
Well, I have Castro way ahead. I don't have a specific round scoring, but I'll tell you what, I don't think he's lost more than maximum 2 rounds. And let's remember, a point was deducted from Kim early in the bout. I seriously question his strategy by Castro. There is no reason for him to be slugging it out with Kim right now. I mean, if they're going to steal this decision from him, now see, here comes the blood from the eye. Oh, no, they're going to bring it over for the tape and the glove. I thought he was going to go to the ring doctor. That's good.
Párese, rómpase la madre.
Is there another way that you can put the gloves on and keep them on without taping them out?
Well, we've had a lot of instances of it recently, but then again, if the tape does get loose, it could go into a fighter's eye. So from a safety standpoint, you need to make sure that that tape is appropriate. I've seen fighters get cut from tape that was hanging. Boy, here's Castro throwing uppercuts from 3 feet back, 5 feet back, wailing away on the inside, putting that cut in jeopardy. I mean, that's really stupid. It really is. For a clever veteran, a crafty fighter who does so many things right, he and his corner have not crafted a good strategy here because they have got this fight won. I mean, there's no way that he could lose this decision. If he does, I mean, it'll be so shocking that they're not going to ever win one again anyway.
Well, though they didn't seem to be doing a major repair job between rounds.
They did nothing on the cut.
Her eye is now bleeding badly.
It's amazing.
Yes.
It was bleeding earlier, and then it kind of stopped.
Yep.
I mean, that is staggering to me because with all the blood that was coming out. You're right, Tom. I mean, they lucked out.
Boy, and Castro is really belting away at Kim.
He's probably winning this 10th round, but again, putting himself in jeopardy, putting that eye in jeopardy in the process. Watch, the joke will be on me. He'll win this fight by 1 point on the judges' scorecards, and he'll have needed that last round.
Into the final 20 seconds.
I'll tell you what, though, this has been an outstanding bout. I mean, these guys have really given a tremendous effort. And even Kim, even though I suspect he'll lose this match, he has shown a lot of grittiness and determination.
10 seconds remain. Well, we'll go through the fight without a knockdown. And there's the bell, and this one is over. 2 fighters embrace. Ring announcer Michael Buffer climbs in. We'll be collecting the cards from the judges. Remember, the winner of the round gets 10 points, the loser a lesser number. It was a round that had Kim penalized a point, which conceivably made it a 10-8 round at the worst. And had he won it, a 9-9 round. So all of those things will be factored in, although I share my ringside expert's opinion. Al Bernstein is seldom wrong. And
we go to the scorecards. Art Laurie scores the bout 97-92. Dick Houck scores at 98-91, and Hal Miller has it 98-92 for the winner by unanimous decision, Melchor Castro.
So Castro, unanimous decision winner, and his record now runs to 38-4 for Bong Jun Kim. A very tough fight. A great effort, but a losing one. He comes out to congratulate Castro. We'll take a moment to thank Jennifer Kim for an interpreting portion. Jennifer, you stay where you are because we have another Kim who's going to be fighting Michael Carbajal for the world title, and we'll need your expertise and help when that bout comes along. As next up on the bill of fare will be Ruelas and Daryl Tyson. There's Kim. Valiant fighter. Fought well, but in vain. Still, of course, to come on the card is Freddie Pendleton defending his IBF lightweight championship against the clown prince of boxing, Jorge Montemero Paez. There you see the interior of the pavilion here at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. Well, he's here, but he's not fighting. Al, get all the details, will you?
Okay, thank you, Tom. I'll do my best. Oscar De La Hoya had an injury to his right hand, but it was not a serious injury. It was basically a tendon injury, correctly?
Yeah, it was just a tendon injury where we went to see the best doctor there is for boxing, which he says saved Sugar Ray's career, Hagler's career. So I'm really not worried about it. I mean, I've been working. Actually, it's my left hand. So
the left. I meant your left hand. That's what I meant.
Actually, it's the left hand, and it's also a good thing because we've been working on the right hand, where it's very powerful and.